Yeah.
Go onto my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Videos. We are live.
Sorry, the videos button is.
Go to my channel. Click on me. Videos.
Yeah.
Click on the live.
Videos button is.
Go to my channel. What can you see?
Your video. Your slides.
Videos. I need to mute myself now, then, don't I?
Videos button is.
Go to my channel. Oh, you should get some sound through in about 20 seconds.
Okay.
Good morning. I hope you are safe and well, and welcome to Life Mastery, Find Your Path to Success. We've got an amazing day lined up for you, starting in a moment with the first speaker, which will be yours truly. We'll be talking about how you can learn to understand why you think, feel, and do what you do. Usually at this time I go through housekeeping rules of the day and stuff, but obviously you're sitting in your own home, so you know where your toilets are, you'll know when you can go for a break, so just go crazy and be yourself and just enjoy your day. Make sure that you've got some kind of writing implement, whether you're going to type up on your laptop or something, pencil and paper, because the things we're going to be talking about today be really good for you to be able to write down and implement into your life immediately if they're things that resonate with you and you'd like to take forward. The things that you'll learn today will not only help you in the foreseeable future, but actually for the rest of your life. So make some notes and make sure that you take the things that you want to put into practice forward. Be really interesting to find out at a later date how this workshop has benefited you. So we will be asking, if you can, at the end of the day, once you've finished watching, if you could just leave a comment in the comments box, just to let us know what you think. Be polite, even if it's not complimentary. And also, if you ever visit the page again, it'd be really great if you could give us a follow-up to let us know the things that you have put into practice. If you could do that on YouTube, if you don't want it to be public, then obviously you can send me an email, which will be to john@johnkennycoaching.com, and just let us know how you're getting on with the things that we've put out for you today. And obviously this is the first time that we've done something online, so this is a whole new experience for us, as it is maybe for you. So just bear with us if we have any technical difficulties. We're hoping the internet holds up really well, and all of this technology that we're using flows very smoothly. So as the day pans out, what will happen is I will we'll start with myself. I'll give you a little bit of a talk in a little bit, and then we will introduce the speakers throughout the day. And we'll have a little break in between each one. So if you have any questions, please do write them down. If you have any comments, if you just need to go have a break for yourself, make sure you keep yourself refreshed with tea, coffee, water, whatever it is that you like to drink. And you'll have a little break, sort of 10-15 minutes in between, depending on how long the speakers go on for, and if how much space we've got in between. And then as the day goes on, write those questions down. At 4 o'clock, we will have a specific Q&A session. So at the moment, most of the speakers will be here at 4 o'clock to answer any questions. So we'll have everybody in this Zoom meeting, and then you can just fire your questions into the YouTube comments box, and we will ask the speakers any specific questions that you've got. If you can't hang around, then what we will do, I've got a big sticker in front of me that says don't forget to record, and I forgot to record. So but I'm not going to start again, so don't think you have to sit there and listen to me talking again. But anyway, we are now recording. So it's just the introduction that you've missed so far, just to remind myself of that. Yeah, so the speakers will be back at 4 o'clock. Write your questions down, stick them in the comments, and then we will be able to answer those specific questions that you might have. Some of the speakers may be asking for questions throughout the day, so get your questions ready in case they are asking you to put those questions forward during their talk. I think that's about it that I need to tell you for this morning. So once again, welcome to Life Mastery, Find Your Path to Success. This is an all-day online personal development webinar, and we have an amazing lineup of speakers ready to talk to you for the rest of the day. So get yourself comfortable, get your pen and paper ready. First of all, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about myself. So I'm a transformational relationship coach, and I am the founder of what's called Interpersonal Relationship Coaching, or IRC for short. And IRC is a fusion of my experience as a coach, counselor, hypnotherapist, and NLP user, practitioner. So I put that together because I found that everybody needs a different approach when it comes to understanding where they're coming from, and the techniques from those approaches help me to help you. I've been working now in personal development for around about 15 years and gradually progressed on from being a counsellor into coaching and added the other skills as I went along. The reason I do this is because the experience of my own life led me to recognise that things weren't great. I wasn't a very happy person and things needed to change, and my personal development journey has enabled me to completely flip my life around. The basic concept behind interpersonal relationship coaching is called the bicycle effect, and I'm going to go through that with you in a moment. The bicycle effect explains why we think, feel, and do what we do, and how those thoughts and emotions are influenced. And then when we come to understanding this, we can see the consequences of our lives and why the consequences are as they are. But first of all, I'd just like to tell you a story. I'd just like you to imagine a 14-year-old boy. A 14-year-old boy who's having an argument with his brother. And while they're arguing, actually, do you know what? Let me take you back a bit further. Imagine, if you can, a little boy around about 6, 7 years of age. His mum has gone on holiday with her father, and his brother has been sent off to spend some time with his best friend, and he's going to be staying there for the week. And his best friend's mum is also this little boy's mum's best friend. So his brother's got somewhere nice to go. This 6 or 7-year-old lad has been sent off to a friend of his father's, people that he doesn't really know, to spend a week with them while his mum's on holiday. There's no room in his friend's house for this little boy to stay in. So unfortunately for him, he has to sleep in the same bed as these adults. He goes to bed at night and he curls up on the edge of the bed, trying to keep himself safe, not knowing who these people are. During that week, visited maybe once or twice by his own dad. He gets to thinking when he gets home, why was my dad not looking after me? Why was I sent to this place where I was very sad, miserable, scared? Why wasn't I looked after? Does my dad not really want me in his life? Move forward a few years, and this little boy is now around about 11 years of age. His mum's left, his parents are separated, and he's living with his dad. He's having a really tough time with things, finding it really difficult to cope with a family life, struggling at school, doesn't really want to be at school. And one night, he really loses his shit. He's had enough. Something happens with his brother, who he's constantly fighting and arguing with, and he gets told off. This seems to be the same story for him. It always seems to be his fault. So he says, I don't want to live here anymore. I want to go and live with my mum. So his dad says, yeah, you can go and live with your mum. Go and pack your bags. So off he trots upstairs, starts to get his bag out, starts to pack his clothes. His dad comes in, shuts the door. He says, if you want to go, you take everything. Starts ripping all of his posters off of the wall. Starts throwing all of his stuff on the floor. And then he gets hold of this 11-year-old boy. And he says, you've had this coming for a long time. And this little boy thinks he's going to die because his dad hits him and hits him and hits him and doesn't stop. And when he's left on the floor, his dad says, when you're ready to apologize, come down. You're going nowhere. So let's go back to this 14-year-old. He's arguing with his brother. And his brother gets a coat hanger and stabs him in the side. He runs to his bedroom and jumps on his bed. He's lying there holding onto his side. Luckily enough, it hit him straight on the hip bone and didn't go right in. His dad comes running up the stairs. The first thing he does is run into this 14-year-old boy's room and start hitting him and telling him to behave himself. Just tell him to stop winding up his brother until he screams, but he stabbed me. And it's only then that maybe his dad realizes that he's made a mistake. Now, the reason I'm telling you these stories is because they have a profound influence on how we see ourselves. The messages that we receive as we grow up will determine the relationship that we have with ourselves, depending on how your brain interprets those messages. And I'd just like to explain that to you now in a little bit more detail with the bicycle effect. So get your pen and your paper ready, because you're going to be able to draw out your own bicycle. You'll see why it's called the bicycle effect in a little while. So what I'd like to start with first of all is the front wheel of your bicycle. So draw yourself a nice circle and separate that into four. Now this bit here we call the Turk cycle. It's something from cognitive behavioral therapy. Let me just tip that down so you can see that a bit better. It's something from cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's used to describe all of the cycles that we go around as far as our brain thought processes are. So you can use it for stress, anxiety, depression, anger. But because you can use it for lots of different things, I decided to give it one name. The first letter, the T, is for your thoughts. So everything begins with a thought. Then we have emotions. So when you have an emotion, you only have an emotion because it's triggered by your thought. And then you have a reaction. Now, generally, we don't have much of a reaction unless we have an emotion beforehand. So if I was to talk to you about something that you really didn't care about, you're not really going to react to it. But if we talk about something that's highly emotive for you, then you're going to react in a completely different way. Now, depending on how you react, will lead to your consequences. Now, obviously, if you have a positive reaction to something, generally your positive consequences are going to follow. And if you have a negative reaction to something, then generally negative consequences are going to follow, depending on what your mindset is and how you see these consequences. Because you might have a very negative reaction and get a very positive consequence. And that's when we're talking about people that are generally quite toxic in relationships, manipulative in relationships, use anger and things in order to get what they want. So sometimes a negative reaction can actually get you what you're desiring. So we just need to check in with that to see that your consequences aren't always going to be bad, but they might be very negative. Let's come back to thoughts. So as I said, everything starts with a thought. If you don't think about something, then nothing's really going to come of it. So what we need to do is when we go round in this cycle is check in with our thoughts. So an example of this would be, I used to get really bad road rage. And the reason that I used to get road rage is because when I would get cut up by somebody or they wouldn't say thank you on the road, then my thought would be they're disrespecting me. Now, they weren't disrespecting me, and that I know now, but because of where I come from in my background, I developed this idea of myself that if somebody did something that wasn't to my benefit, then in some way they were disrespecting me. So then I would feel disrespected. My reaction to that would get a little bit irritated, and maybe the consequences would be I'd give a V sign or bid me hooter or whatever it would be in order to show my displeasure to the person. If they then didn't say thank you or apologize, then my thoughts would get worse. So if they then decided to bid back or slam their brakes on or just make rude gestures out their window, then my thoughts would escalate. So they're definitely disrespecting me now, so my emotional state would increase. My reactions to that could be to flash them, chase them down the road, start to get verbally aggressive, and the consequences could lead to them deciding to want to have a fight. But the reason that I kind of changed this behavior is because one day I actually nearly killed the passenger in my car when I lost my temper and started to chase someone down the road. And I nearly drove into the back of a tipper lorry that had broken down. If I hadn't been able to just pull out of the way, I missed that tipper lorry by a couple of inches. And if I'd hit it, I would have killed the passenger in my car. So it really made me take a step back and think about what I was doing. Now, you could relate that to any other circumstance that you're in. The thing that's missing in here is meaning. Generally, you won't have an emotional response to something unless you give it meaning. So as I said earlier on, if I think about something that I don't really care about or has no emotional connection to me, I'm not really going to react to it. But I have an emotion because I give it meaning. So this thought here is something that means something to me. Now, it may be something that doesn't need to be there, but it's the meaning that I give it that creates this state. So if I can understand what my thoughts are, and then I can understand what the meaning is that I give to those thoughts, I can understand my emotional responses and the reactions that I then give. Where do your thoughts come from? So we look at the 3 Ps, and the 3 Ps are your past, your perception, and your pain. Now, your past is what will influence your thoughts. Everything you've experienced will create a perception about yourself, about relationships, about your career, about everything that you then do, because you're learning from your experiences. And your experiences will create your perception of certain events. If those perceptions come from pain, then they will trigger things in your present that will cause you to generally have an overreactive emotion to certain events. Because we don't have a tendency to process pain very well. The stories that I told you earlier on gave me a perception of myself, which was very damaging. So damaging, in fact, that I actually rejected my own name. When I was on holiday one year, and I was in my mid-20s, I won a raffle and I got up on stage and the guy said, "What's your name?" And when I said John, I felt really flushed and embarrassed. I thought because I was standing in front of all these people, just won this prize, I'd also had a few drinks. So I didn't understand at the time that it was actually because I was rejecting myself. Just saying my name out loud made me feel so uncomfortable that it embarrassed me. And that's the reason why John Kenny Coaching came about. When I was thinking of a name for my coaching business, I thought, what better name than to show that I actually finally accept who I am by plastering my name everywhere. So that's why I called John Kenny Coaching that name, is because it shows I had finally accepted who I was. So we have a tendency to process pain. On my YouTube channel, I've got a series of videos, and one of them talks about the escalation of loss and how we deal with loss, and loss involves pain. Pain is something we have a tendency to avoid. Your brain doesn't like it, so we put in coping mechanisms, we put things in place in order to deal with that pain. But what that pain does, then, by not being addressed, it festers, it never gets resolved, and it leads to other outcomes that we don't necessarily want. Because we're not sure how to deal with it, and if you are growing up in an environment where you're not taught how to soothe yourself, so you're not taught that everything's going to be okay, then as you get older, you don't really know what to do with those emotions either. So when you're older, you don't know how to self-soothe because you've never been shown how to be looked after emotionally. Our saddle is where we sit on our life, and if we're sitting on our wounds, then that pain is constant. It never really goes anywhere. Even though we may not feel it on a day in and day out basis, there will be things that will happen in our life that will trigger that pain. That will then generally trigger the coping mechanisms that we put in place as a child in order to help us cope with those situations. Now, most of this does come from your childhood. Unless you've experienced some kind of trauma later on in life, then nearly everything that you do, which is negative in respect to having a reaction when you're older, will come from something that you've learned in childhood. And then those experiences, as the stories that I told you earlier on, they get built upon and they get built upon and they get built upon until we come to an understanding about ourselves which form our beliefs. And the beliefs sit on our bicycle, sort of where your water bottle would be, because we tap into our beliefs when we need some kind of sustaining behavior to happen. Beliefs are massively powerful. When we are born with one real primary instinct, and that's to survive. And as we get older, it is a belief that is the only really powerful thing that can override that. So people that kill themselves, generally because they feel like they believe there's no other option to get out of the situation they're in, or if there are terrorists and people blow themselves up, they have a belief that's strong enough for them to die. Now, if that can overcome your need to survive, it shows how powerful your beliefs can be. Now, if you've never dealt with your wounds and your pain, these beliefs can stay with you all of your life, such as my core belief became that I was never going to amount to anything and I wasn't worth very much. So every time in my life that I would start to be successful, my belief would kick in and it would tell me that you're never going to amount to anything. You need to do something now to prove that to be true. I was so concrete in my beliefs, even though they were sitting in my subconscious, that my brain would then get me to act out in a certain way, which would then take away my ability to be successful, to feel like I was worth something. And then I would have to do something in my life which would show me that the belief that I was holding was true. And if we don't address this, our direction will always be the same. We will keep going around in a cycle, because our pain, if it's not addressed, will always be triggered. Our perceptions will always be the same based on the fact of the beliefs that we hold on to. They all interlink. And then, depending on what we believe and how we perceive situations, that will trigger our thoughts. So for instance, with the road rage, my immediate thought was, I'm being disrespected. Now that was a subconscious thought. I didn't realize I was thinking that at the time. And then that led to a difficult emotion because of the meaning I gave that, which reverted back to when I was a kid. When I was the one that had to apologize, when I was the one that was told off first, when I was the one that didn't get my own way. It was always about me apologizing to someone else. It was always about me being punished for things perhaps I hadn't even done. So that feeling would come back. That was the meaning that I gave that thought. And therefore the emotion that I got would then drive my reactions, and then the consequences of my behavior would lead me to feel pretty rubbish. Now, what we can do is try and understand the wounds that we're sitting on, how we perceive things, the pain that we're carrying, and what beliefs that we're holding on to. Because if we do that, we can then change this. Because the initial thought might still be there, because these things are hardwired in your brain. When you are a child, you're born in survival mode, and you're also born in a learning mode too, because it's a vitally important time for you to pick up information. So the things that we learn when we're children have a tendency to stick. First of all, because they teach us how to survive. So if we experience a lot of difficult circumstances, our brain says, you need to be able to survive this, what are you going to do? And it puts things in place in order for us to be able to do that. And it also learns them at a very deep level, because the brain waves of a child are slower, and therefore they absorb information much more quickly. And so they can go in really, really deeply and form these neurons in your brain, which then as you get older, when certain circumstances happen, these neurons get triggered, and our subconscious decides how to deal with these circumstances. But what we can do is we can create new neurons. So what we want to be able to practice is different thought processes and then different behaviors. So we can challenge those thoughts. If we don't know why we're doing something, we need to take a step back and have a look. What did I think? What do I believe? How do I perceive this situation? And what am I actually feeling that's causing this kind of cycle to go around? If you can change your thought, you can make this a more positive outcome. Or you can just stop it progressing any further. Now, the only problem with that is depending on how deeply held your beliefs are, it can stop you from moving forward. So if you don't think you deserve good things and you try and change this, then procrastination can start, and that's what I call resistance. And that is when we put the brakes on. We put the brakes on change. Change can be difficult because our brain likes certainty. Our brain likes the familiar. Now, when I was having, when I had relationships in the past, I would have a tendency to choose the same types of relationships that reminded me of the things I experienced as a child. And then subsequently had difficult relationships with other people, which then it reinforced and concreted my belief about what relationships were all about. My brain would then look for something familiar when it came to relationships. And all the time I thought I was looking for something new, I was actually looking for something exactly the same, because that was my comfort zone. That was my safe space. My safe space as a child was generally to be by myself. So as an adult, I would always try to aim to be back by myself where I felt safest. So therefore, I would choose relationships which would then take me back to that point in that circle. So here I was, have a relationship. My belief was I wasn't worth very much, so I would choose relationships which would prove that to me. I'd get to that point where that would be proved. Something destructive would then happen, and I'd come back to my safe space, which is here, which is being by myself. It was only when I learned my pattern, what I was actually choosing for myself, that I was actually able to interact with my beliefs and my thought processes and say, what am I doing? Do I really want to do this? Is it something I can change? And I allowed myself to follow a different pattern. Because we have a tendency to look for what we don't want a lot of the time. So I was telling myself, I don't want a relationship which is like the past. I don't want one where I'm going to feel rubbish. But the problem with that is, the only thing on my radar was I was looking out for everything that I didn't want. And I was missing all of the good stuff. So somebody that could have been really healthy for me, I was letting them pass me by because I wasn't looking for them. So when we're thinking about changing this, it's a change of how the whole of our mindset around us. What do we want? What do we allow in our lives? What don't we allow? What do we deserve? What do we think we deserve? And where all this comes from. And there are things you can do in order to change that. As I said, the first thing to do is to understand yourself. Understand where you come from. Understand what your patterns are. What your pain might be that you're holding on to. What wounds are you sitting on? What are your beliefs? And how do they manifest in your life? Do you recognize that some of the behaviors that you have come from the decisions that you make? It doesn't mean that the things that are going on are necessarily, they're not your fault. It's just understanding that sometimes the things that are happening in our lives are our responsibility, and we have the ability to change them. If you're treated badly, that's not your fault. That's the responsibility of the person that's treating you badly. But what's your role? Are you allowing that to happen? Are you choosing that to happen because you're aiming to get back to a safe space like I was? So understanding this will be able to help you to move your life forward. I'll just give you a few seconds to just make sure you've got that all written down. I'm just seeing if there's any comments or questions at the moment. No. So
I hope you found that useful. The bicycle effect is something that's available on my new membership site, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. It's some of the stories also that I told you earlier are available in my book, which you may have seen, the People Program. On the membership site that I'm running, I'm going to tell you, like I said, a bit more about it later. But I've put all of my, a lot of the coaching stuff that I do, I've put it on all on PDF downloadable formats, and you're going to be able to download all of the coaching tips and tricks from this membership site. Copy of my book, copy of the Bicycle Effect book as well. So you'll be able to access a lot of this coaching stuff via my membership site, which I will tell you about a bit later on. We've got another speaker coming up in about 20 minutes. If there are any questions about this, please do pop them into the box below, and I'll just see if there's anything in there at the moment. I'll give that a couple of minutes. In the meantime, any questions? No? Cool. I hope you've got your bicycle drawn out, and you're going to be able to think about how it relates to you in your life. And you can use this for anything. It's not just about relationships. It could be affecting your work. It could be affecting anything that goes on in your life, because the things that you're doing at the moment could be holding you back. So think about what you're doing, your choices, what you allow, what you don't allow. Do you find something similar to me, that as you would move forward in your life, that you would get to a certain place in your life where you'd feel like you were doing really well, and then all of a sudden it would all start to go wrong? That you would take your foot off the gas, that you would do something which would take you into a state of distractedness, perhaps chaos. And because also there's a thing that once we get used to a certain way of doing things, then it's really difficult sometimes for our brains and our bodies to be able to switch away from that. There's quite a lot of research coming out now about how your body craves certain emotions as well, because of the hormones that it releases, but also the state that it creates for yourself. So if you're used to a life like this, and then you decide to change things, and then your life becomes a little bit like this, then sometimes that really will freak your brain out. And your brain will look for things to take you back to this kind of idea of chaos. And it's the same with your body. If your body's got used to being in this chaotic state, then what will happen is that your body will send messages to your brain to say, I need to be back in this state again. How can you help me? And your brain will then decide to do things which will help put your body back at ease. Now, if your body is at ease under stress, or in pain, or in anger, then unfortunately, then your body could be telling you to do things that you don't really want to do. So that's another thing that we just need to check in with when we are trying to put change in place. If we start to feel uncomfortable with change, then it can be because our brain is rejecting the thought of it entirely, and it wants to keep you in the same state that you've always been. So it's really important that you check in with that. One of the things that you can do to change your beliefs is to be disbelieving and create new beliefs. So every time that you recognize that you might be saying to yourself, well, you're a bit rubbish, you're not going to get this anyway, is just to tell yourself that's not true. I can get what I want. I deserve better. I deserve more. The more that you start to tell yourself different things, the more quickly you're going to build up these neurons in your brain. But a good way to start with that is, if you don't feel comfortable being really nice to yourself, which I know when I first started doing this, I I was okay. That's how I started. That's how I felt kind of uncomfortable, but managed to be able to be nice to me by just saying, do you know what, John, you're okay. That's gradually grown up now, so I won't tell you what I say now because it's got swear word in it, and I don't know if there's any children watching, but it's something to do about being really awesome. And it's about just being able to accept that for yourself, because you've spent so long with this perception of you that we need to create a new one. But the beginning to the way to do that is to say, I don't believe that anymore. That's an old belief. What I believe is this. And you can start to positively reaffirm things with yourself, stop telling yourself off, and you can start to move on in your life. Right, we don't have any questions. So if you do have anything that you think about after the talk and you want to talk about it later, please do be around at 4 o'clock with your questions, where all the speakers will be live. Let me just get it out of the way. The speakers will be live taking your questions at 4 o'clock. So if you've got any other questions, if you've got any questions that you haven't been able to ask now, please do come back later and put those forward, and I'll do my best to answer them later on this afternoon. We're going to have a 15-minute or so break now, and the next speaker will be up in 15 minutes time, and she is an award-winning entrepreneur and speaker, and her talk is going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you for watching up until now. Go and get yourself a drink, a cup of tea perhaps. I think I'll join you, and I will see you in a little while. Thank you very much.
Hello, and welcome back to Life Mastery, Find Your Path to Success. I did remember to click the record button. And you just saw any comments there. I just had up on the screen some YouTube there, and with some comments on. So please do leave your comments. They're not actually coming up on my phone. So I'm sorry I didn't see those during the talk. But I can see them afterwards, and I'll also keep an eye on for any other questions that you have while the other speakers are speaking by going on to my own, logging onto my YouTube channel. Right, so without further ado, our next speaker is an award-winning entrepreneur, interpreter, and speaker. She's coming to us today live from Germany. She's going to share her most fabulous story with us and give us some great information, tips, and coaching stuff. It's going to be an amazing talk, and I'm just going to find her now in my waiting room. Lubna.
Hi, John.
Good morning or good afternoon in Germany. How are you?
Good afternoon to you as well, and good morning too. I'm sure we are having audience from all over the world, so it's all good.
Yes, thank you very much for getting people from different countries on board today. So I'm sure hopefully they're having a great time. I have remembered to record. Thank you for your message.
Okay, very good.
I will leave you to it. So everybody, I'm off. Welcome to Lubna, and I'll speak to you after your talk.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm going now to share my screen so I can show you my slides. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So hello and welcome everybody. My name is Lubna from Lubna Amir Consulting in Germany. I would like to welcome you all to my session here, and also of course to the sessions of my fellow speakers. And I would like to thank you very much for being here, and rest assured that we have put together something fabulous for you all. But first I would like to thank Mr. John from John Kenny Consulting for putting together this fabulous and amazing event for us all here to enjoy while we are in quarantine and the weekend. So today I'm going to tell you about my journey on how I become an award-winning entrepreneur in literally less than 1 year. In less than 1 year, I was able to win an international award. So let's get to it. I'm sure you recognize this guy right here. Yes, he is the Hulk. Everybody knows the Hulk from the sequel. It's very famous, and I'm sure that most of you, at least, you know about the unfortunate incident that happened to the good Dr. Bruce while he was at his lab. Something happened, and now he is turned into this horrible green man. And the change, this transformation is being triggered by anger or anything that is really overwhelming. When Dr. Bruce is not able to handle, then this green monster comes to life. I really like stories. I think they are the best vehicle to introduce a learning in life or a situation in life. That is why I would like today to introduce and to use the symbol of the Hulk, but in a different scenario. And you are going to be the star of this scenario. So please join me with this exercise. I'm sure you are going to enjoy it so much. But in order for you to benefit from the exercise, I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. Yes, so this is going to be an imagination game. So picture this, that you walk into a new place, somewhere you have never been before. It is somewhat a small room place, it's dark. It looks like a living room. There is something unusual about it. You notice that there are lemons. Lemons, what they are doing here? The lemons in this room, you never know. And as you try to familiarize yourself, you notice that there is something back there on the wall, but you are not sure what is that thing, what is there. But as your mind is working towards that, out of a sudden, out of the blue, a little Hulk comes out from one of the corners. Can you imagine that? But the Hulk is just like you. He is also irritated. He feels that he is out of element. And now as you get defensive and scary because you know about the Hulk and how dangerous he can be, and then you start acting, with some sort of nervousness. You want to defend yourself, but that is only increasing the anger and the irritation that Hulk feels. So he starts puffing up, he starts growing in size, sorry, and then his actions try to get more and more aggressive, and now he's jumping all over, he's chasing you, and you are running around like a scared mouse. And in a split of a second here, you realize that this is a situation where your life is in danger. But then you decide, you make up your mind, you say, no, I'm not going to die today. I'm not going to die here. I still have my full life ahead of me. I need to do something. At least I will have 50% chance of surviving. So once you reach this decision, all happened very quickly. In a split of a second, this shift happened. And here you make up your mind. You would say, at least I will try. So you stop running, you try to establish an eye contact, and then you reach your hand to the Hulk in a friendly gesture. You start controlling your breathing, you start talking to the Hulk, and you are telling him, please, I'm your friend, I mean you no harm. And what do you know? The Hulk responds. He is responding actually when he sees that you have calmed down, that you are not afraid. When you tell him that you are not going to hurt him, he is responding. He's responding. Now you notice that he is now less angrier, and as he gets calmer, his size also starts to decrease. He shrinks as you keep talking to him with a friendly tone, with maybe a nice smile on your face. You are able to tame the Hulk, and he is now reverted to his size. And what do you know? Now you wish that you did not use those lemons to throw at him. Actually, as the Hulk gets back to his normal size now, to the little Hulk he was at the beginning, now you are able to see that the exit was right there from the beginning. A big door was there right from the start, but you were unable to see. You were in unfamiliar situation, and you were scared. You were startled by the size and actions of the Hulk. You were unable to see, but now you have tamed your Hulk. Now you grab his hand because now he became your friend. So you grab his hand and both of you walk out from the door, only to find, yes, a garden of lemon trees waiting for you outside. Is this a little bit unusual? So what do you do when life gives you lemons? Normally you would do lemonade, but today you deserve to upgrade your lemonade. Today you deserve to have the better thing in life, because now you have experience, now you have grown, you have developed your skill set to handle the Hulks in your life. You see? So you are now a different person than the person who originally walked into that dark room. Now you are a better person. So you definitely deserve to upgrade your lemonade. I really hope that I have made the learning from the story clear. I hope that you have enjoyed the metaphor. So basically, this is the law of life, and everybody knows that in life we all need to go through ups and downs. Actually, this is life. Life is made of ups and downs, because when the line goes straight, you know what that means. It means that you are out for good. So believe me, it's really worth fighting and taming the hulks. But rest assured, because once you know how to tame the first one, you have already won the game, because you know the drill right now. So this is all very interesting. I would like to share with you how I tamed my own Hulk. You know, I used to be in the Emirates for over 10 years. I'm so used to achievement and to studying and to working so hard. I had my own translation company. Before I have translated so many books, I worked with international film festivals. I had wonderful clients. But at one point in time, it was really time for us to go back to Syria. I'm Syrian, by the way, but at the same time, unfortunately, the war broke out. And against all odds, it did not really stop in 3 or 4 months. It is still going on, unfortunately, until now for over 10 years. So we really felt that we had no choice. So we decided to relocate to Turkey. But then some things, you know, life happened to us, and we then decided with the family that we need to move to Germany. At the time, that was in 2015. So in a matter of less than 3 years, my life changed dramatically. My life changed dramatically. And I took the trip with the family from Turkey to Germany. And here I put for you some photos from that trip. And let me tell you that, let me confess to you, and believe me, this is taking a lot of courage from me to be able to share this after so many years. I believe we were really traumatized by that trip. It was really risky, really dangerous, and the media perhaps was a little bit deceiving, or the stories from the people maybe led us to take a decision somehow. Or on the other side, on the upside of the story, maybe we were meant to go through this journey so we can have this experience. Believe me, it was a really life-changing experience. So as a result, of course, of this journey, you can imagine that I went through a state of depression. I was unable to see all the blessings in my life. Germany, after all, is really a beautiful country. It is really a dream for so many people around the world to come to Germany, to enjoy it, to study here, to work here. But because of that trauma, because of that depression, I was really unable to enjoy any of that, even though we had people really supported us and stayed by our side all the time. But still, I was feeling that I was unable to achieve something. I was unable to provide any value to the world. I really was crushed by the feeling that I need to start everything from zero. Because at one point of the time, I realized that this is a new culture, this is a new language, a new everything. So literally, I was stuck in the situation for 4 years. 4 years. I was just not doing the things that I love to do, you see. So I was really at my down turn for 4 years. Yeah. But then early 2019, something happened to me. I got sick and I needed to be hospitalized 2 times. And here it hits me. I thought, oh my God, why I'm doing this to myself? Really, this is really not fair for me, because I am the kind of person who love life. I love life and I love to live happily. I want to be happy. So once I made this decision in my heart, and once I made this shift in my brain, the magic started to happen, literally. So I thought, okay, It's a new country for me, it's a new language, but I still have my experience, I still have my education, I'm still the same person. It's even better now because Germany is Central Europe. It's better now because now I am able to connect to more and more people. Now my circle has widened. You see, my circle has widened now. But now because I have my contacts in the Middle East, and now I can have even more contacts in Europe. So this shift in my mind led opportunities to manifest for me. So one day I was on Facebook looking for something, for a sign or something, and then an ad came up, and I took a free seminar in Frankfurt, which led me to go to Zurich, Switzerland, to attend a 3-day seminar. And then one thing led to the other. And here are photos of my mentors. Maybe you have recognized some of them. Here we have Kane Menkes. He is really very brilliant. Liz Brown. I'm proud to be one of his prodigies. Corey Trevino Menkes is also my mentor. Kevin Pease and Mahema. And, so many things started to unveil because now I am out of my comfort zone. And, a wise person once said, great things start to happen when you are out of your comfort zone. So great things start to happen when you are out of your comfort zone. And I can assure you that this is literally what happened to me. So now when I think back during this 1 year, because today is exactly 1 year since I took that trip from May 2019 till May 2020. So I am the living proof that when you shift your mindset and when you make the decision in your heart that you deserve to be happy, and the one life you got on the planet, believe me, God will respond and fate will respond and opportunities will come. So early 2020 in January in London, I was honored with the World Greatness Award. And that was a blessing. I went to Dubai several times. I have expanded my business as well, and also I was able to act on my passion to become a motivational speaker. And just recently, actually, just last night, I was able to become a certified consultant for happiness and positivity. So the learnings from my story, if there is anything that you would like to take from my session here today, is the following. So if you are planning on happiness, if you really want to be happy, act now. Act now, because otherwise you will run the risk of being stuck in misery for years, like what happened to me. So I wanted to be happy, but I did not act upon it. So really, I was stuck for 4 years of my life. Oh my God, so many wasted opportunities, right? So act now, act now. And then, believe me, when you make the conscious effort to tame your fears, you will find out that they are not really so scary because the mind tends to play games on you. All the ideas in your mind, they seem very difficult to achieve. They seem there are horrible scenarios awaiting you, but in reality, the matters are so simple. It's really the simplest techniques that will help you, that will save you from misery, that will lead you to happiness. Just like what happened with me, for example, I was really able to earn my lemonade with my Hulk. And also, I would like you to take actions and opportunities as soon as they come for you, as soon as they manifest. Just seize the opportunity, act upon it right now, right now. There is no time for tomorrow because you live here. You are here, you are in the presence, you are here now. So do something with what you have right now. So in my course that I am offering on Facebook for several groups of the ladies, I always tell them, when your mind is trying to trick you with thoughts of scary scenarios about things that will happen to you in the future, or when it tricks you to get you back to the past where not very nice things happen to you, just remember to bring yourself to the moment. Remember to be present in the moment, where things are much nicer than what you have in your mind. Just when you realize this trick of mind, things will become automatically much better for you. So I need you to have faith in God, have faith in yourself, because without the faith, you would still have some difficulty. But when you have the faith, you will have the courage to face whatever comes, whatever Hulk that you might meet in your life. And please just do not forget to have fun while you are at it. So after going through a lot in this year, I feel I am so much blessed. So I really would like to give back to the community. So I went ahead and I partnered with a publisher in the United Arab Emirates, and together we have decided on this mission that we are going to help 10 published authors to bring their systems, strategies, and programs to the Arab-speaking world in the year of 2020. I am a professional translator, by the way. I have a master's degree in translation and interpreting, and over 14 years of experience in translation. So this is what I have realized when I came here after 4 years of doing absolutely nothing. I realized I still have those assets with me. So now with my partnerships in the United Arab Emirates, I am able to offer something that is really cool, that is it's really an opportunity for you if you would like to come to the Arab world. So typically I work with thought leaders, coaches, authors, and writers who want to share their systems and solutions with a wider audience. They are being discouraged maybe by the language and cultural barriers. So I serve as a cultural bridge to help them overcome those barriers and facilitate their launch in the UAE market and the Arabic speaking world. But first, let's look at some facts. There are as many as 420 million people around the world who speak Arabic, which makes it the 6th most spoken language in the world. You know, some sites, if you would like to run maybe a quick Google search, some sites would argue that Arabic is actually number 5 in the world as the most spoken language. Some of the biggest book fairs in the Arab world, and believe me, there are hundreds and hundreds of book fairs and book-related events that are happening year-round in every country of the Arab world. But here are some of the biggest book fairs in the Arab world, and these numbers are documented. For example, Sharjah International Book Fair in 2019, it received over 2 million visitors. The Big Bad Wolf in Dubai, I believe this is also an international book fair, it took in 3 million books, and it was on for 11 days of sales, 24/7. Yes, 24/7. Dubai is the city that never sleeps. We have also Abu Dhabi International Book Fair with over 500,000 books. The Cairo International Book Fair, this is the star of book fairs in the world, with 3 million visitors only, because normally it would receive much more than that, but maybe because Egypt went through some ups and downs as well, so maybe that is why they had only 3 million visitors. Last year, we have also the Baghdad International Book Fair, the Muscat International Book Fair. So let me cite this quotation from the website where I took these numbers from. The website is called the new publishing standard.com. So you can find more articles about that if you like online. So the writer of this article says somewhere between 12 to 15 million people will be attending Arab book fairs this year. Okay. Many walking out with suitcases full of books. Now, wouldn't you like to have your book participated in one or more of these amazing book fairs? Can you imagine the visibility? Also, there are so many initiatives to encourage reading all over the Arab world, but here I would like to focus on the UAE. For example, there is the Arab Reading Challenge by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, President of Dubai. He is challenging the students to read as many books, over 50 books a year. And a record of 21 million children from 52 countries are competing for the title. So wouldn't you love your book to be among the books in the challenge, especially if you have systems, if you have value, if you have programs? Also, there is another initiative by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Foundation as well. It is called My Family is Reading. It is intended to allocate knowledge by bringing all these books, translating them, and then offering them in packs of 50 books or 40 books to the families, so the entire family can read. So imagine how powerful is that for your book, for your systems, for your school of thought, right? There is also the Sharjah Virtual Reading Festival 2020. So maybe when we talked about the festivals, you were thinking, okay, but what about the pandemic right now? Everything was canceled, but really we do have internet. Every single person on the planet is having a smartphone. Of course, not every single person. I'm aware that there are some people who do not have smartphones. Okay. But you understand what I mean. So there are these amazing initiatives in the Arab world. For example, this virtual reading festival that is going to run from May 27th to June 5th. So people think they should focus on their language or only the English language because it is the most common language in the world. By the way, I found out one day that Chinese is the most common language in the world due to the number of speakers. And this is one of the fun facts of languages. So people think that there are so many people out there who speak English. We really do not need to translate our books. But really, you can gain better visibility for your business in other languages as well if you just invest in that, because the market then will be less saturated. The market will be less saturated, which means you have a better and a higher probability of becoming the next success story. Otherwise, you will be missing an entire book segment. So here again, let me remind you of my mission at Lubna Amir Consulting and giving back to the society. We are set out to help 10 published authors bring their systems, strategies, and programs to the Arab-speaking world in the year of 2020. So the selected authors, yes, I'm sorry, but this is not available for everyone. We have certain conditions for you to be able to take part in the mission. We are happy to offer you a professional translation from English to Arabic, plus editing. And then we will publish your book in the UAE market, and then we will market it for you, not only in the UAE, but in the other GCC countries and in the Middle East. And the marketing is going to take place online and offline. So how to apply? Authors need to send us a letter expressing their interest in taking part of the mission, including a few paragraphs about the main topic of the book. And the preferred topics that we would like to focus on, the themes, are business and personal development, self-improvement, the how-to books, relationships, mindsets, leadership, etc. We are sorry, but we are not accepting any topics that are related to politics nor religion. And of course, the book needs to be already published, and there are some details to that, but we can discuss later. Package details. So if you are in the market, I'm sure you are familiar with those numbers. These are the average prices for a 300 pages book. Of course, in some countries, the costs are higher, and in some countries they are cheaper, but this is the average price. So for the professional translation from English into Arabic, it will cost you around $5,000. And you will need to do editing if you are planning on publishing that. And then this will cost you an extra of $1,500, I would say minimum, depending on who are you hiring. Now, to publish your book in the UAE market, this is going to cost you an average of $7,000 with no marketing and nothing at all. But if you want to market for your book, then your partner, the publisher, for example, or the selling channel, they are going, of course, to charge you a certain percentage of the profits. And also we have participation in local and regional book fairs and events. So all in all, we have a total of $13,500. But in our mission, we have decided to give you all of these services for this wonderful discounted price for $6,000 only. And as a bonus from my publisher as well, we have eliminated the word count condition. So now you can translate and publish and market your book regardless of the word count. And please remember that this price is discounted from $14,000 to $6,000 only for all of this, for translation, for publishing, for marketing, for participation in amazing, amazing book fairs where your book, your systems, your programs will be visible to millions and millions of visitors. So if you would like to apply to be one of the selected authors, please contact me today. So now you can become a published author and a translated author as well. We all know that when you write a book, then you are automatically perceived as an expert in your industry. So you can, of course, you can publish your book online. There are so many blogs that you are doing that. You can publish it on your own website, but still the book, when you have a physical book that is properly published, it's something else. So you become a published author. And now with this mission, with my services, I'm really happy to help you become a published and translated author. So you can call me on these numbers, the Germany and the Emirates phone numbers, or send me an email, lubna_amer@yahoo.com, and business@lubnaamerconsulting.com. And of course, there is my website, lubnaamerconsulting.com, but it's still under construction. But it's going to be up and running very soon. And there you will find testimonials from clients that I have worked with. And hopefully there will be also testimonials from you after we work together. My other services in the UAE, I'll be very happy to help you with your book launch, translated book launch that is, and also a book signing event. We can arrange for a speaking slot for you at a book fair if you happen to be there physically. Or if you wish to upgrade your game even further, I am happy to offer you a press conference and a content delivery workshop. Could be for 1 day, could be for 3 days, as you like, and other services. And being here in Germany, like I said, I also have more and more international opportunities to do the work. For example, I am working on facilitating the supply of medical items, masks, gloves, etc., medical equipment such as ventilators. So if you are interested, just please drop me a line at lubna-amer.com at yahoo.com, and also I can help you get your hand disinfectant device, high quality, good price, so good opportunities to do business during the pandemic. So I believe it is the end of my slot right now. I would like to invite you all to make the year 2020 a year of greatness. I know some horrible things happened so far in Australia with the fires. I don't know somewhere else in the world, we know, with some tsunami, and now we have the pandemic that is all over the world now, but it has in a way united us all. It really depends on how you look at it. So I would like to invite you to look at the blessing that is hidden within this pandemic. So despite it, despite the pandemic, let us make the year 2020 a year of greatness. And I would like to invite you once more to join the mission. Thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you. Hello, John. Are you here?
I am. Thank you very much, Lubna. We do
Thank
have
you. Thank you very much.
I've got a question for you, but because of the time, I will ask you that at 4 o'clock. So the person that put the question up, which again, I can't seem to even get up on my phone when I need it. There is a question for you about mindset and whether you need to be educated or whether your mindset is enough to get you what you want. So if you would be happy to talk about that with us later on, that'd be awesome.
Okay, great. So I will be happy to join you for the Q&A session at 4 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Germany time.
Yes, I'll see you back then.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for talking.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Lubna. We have got a 5-minute or so break before our next speaker. So if you do have any questions for Lubna, she will be back again at 4 o'clock UK time. So please do jot your questions down if you are going to be around at 4 o'clock. Bring those questions with you and put them into the comments box. If you have any questions anyway, just put them in the comments box. I'll keep an eye on all of those throughout the day, and we will put those questions to the speakers then. I shall be back in 5 minutes with the next speaker, so I will speak to you then. Hello, we are back. Thanks once again to Lubna for her talk and telling us a bit more about where she comes from, how she got to where she is, and the offer that she put out there for helping you. If you've got a book, thinking of writing a book and you want to get into the Arab speaking world, there's a great opportunity there for you to be able to do that. Our next speaker is coming up very shortly. Just a brief introduction. This next person is a celebrity, global influencer, social media expert, motivational speaker, and author of The Action Plan. Will you please welcome to Life Mastery, Find Your Path to Success, Natasha Grano.
Hello.
Natasha, how are you?
I am brilliant. I'm so excited to be here today with everyone. And I have some amazing knowledge, tips, and goodies to give away in my talk today.
Awesome. Well, I will let you crack on then. I shall let myself disappear. And if you just want to share your screen or whatever you need to do, and I'm off, and I'll speak to you in a little while.
Fantastic. Amazing. So guys, my name is Natasha Grano, and I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an author of the book, The Action Plan. And today I'm going to be teaching you the path to success, how you can monetize from what you're doing, how you can start believing in yourself and taking the next step to getting to the place that you deserve to be. Because guys, look, the main thing to remember is we are all unique. We are all born into this world with a unique gift inside of us. And if we use that gift inside of us and expand it into the world, it can only go up. It can only benefit us to our fullest. And we will become the best versions of who we were born to be. And each one of us have a gift inside of us that is unique. Not one is the same as another. And look, it's through these times that we are going through right now, these hard times, that we can find that light from within us, ignite that flame, and really find our purpose. So who is ready today? I can't see any of you. Usually I talk on a stage and I will hear people's reactions, but who is ready? Just write yes if you are becoming the best version of yourself and attracting the life that you dream of. Please type yes. So guys, this is brilliant. I'm just so happy that you are here today and that you are ready for this journey. So the good news is there are many practical steps that you can take in order to achieve your dreams. And today I'm going to start with just a few. So in my book, The Action Plan, I have many different tips. You can see here, the action plan. Inside here, every single chapter, there are practical exercises in how to implement the law of attraction into your life in under 1 hour. And so I'm going to show you some of these today. And I'm also going to do a very exciting thing for you, which is I'm going to teach you, because I'm an expert in social media. I'm going to teach you how to get your following up in just a couple of tips. And I will explain the things that you can connect with me after on. For example, I offer courses in how to grow your social media and how to gain, in the same way I gained 1 million followers in just over a year. I have attracted everything that I wanted into my life through building this Instagram, building myself up, building my platform, and then injecting my brand. And that is how you create online success. You use the tool like Instagram. And I'll come to that later because I teach courses in that. And it would be my pleasure to have you guys on that course and join me to really take your business or your idea to the next level using Instagram. But for now, let's get into the juicy excitement of the book of the Law of Attraction. So, the first tip I want you to do, get a pen and paper, guys. Be ready for this. I want you to write down proactive over passive. That's chapter 1 in my book. Okay, so I can't obviously divulge everything right here because we will be here for quite some time, but I will give you a few little tips on how you can attract it, because you being here, guys, in of itself, you've committed. You've taken the first step to being the best version of yourself and saying, I'm ready, I believe it, I own it, I value myself, okay? You're already there. So be proactive. And I want you to remember, when I mean proactive over passive, there are 2 paths that divert, okay, in life. It's a path that diverts into two different directions. Are you going to sit and be a couch potato, or are you going to take your life into your own hands and say, I deserve to do this, I'm starting today? So my first tip is take one goal and write it down, one small goal that you can start implementing every single day, and just each day have a new goal. Be it go to the supermarket and buy some healthy food for once instead of buying junk food. Your goal for tomorrow could be cutting out sugar. Your goal for the next day could be to have an ice shower, which I will come to in a bit. But every single thing that I'm going to teach you is going to line you up, as small as it may seem. These are going to help build you into being the best version of yourself. So my next tip under being proactive over passive, as I say in here, and you'll love the quotes that are coming up in the book, and you'll love some of the juicy words and knowledge that has been passed down through the centuries that I am regurgitating out there and writing in my own way to help you fuel your dream, to attract it today. But here's another one that I love from the book. Find comfort in discomfort, okay? Because comfort is the enemy of growth. So when I say that, I mean, if you want to really attract what you want into your life, just sit and watch the days pass you by. You'll never say, what do I really want? So I want you to write that down. This is your exercise to do right after this. What do you really want in life? I want you to write your future self down. Create that person in finite detail, everything. Because you know what athletes do? The top athletes in the world, before they go and compete, they run through the whole thing like a dress rehearsal in their mind. They win the race in their mind before they even go on that track. And do you know how they do it? They visualize. They use the power of visualization, but they imagine every detail, from the way their right arm is passing their left arm, the wind they feel on their face. They use all 5 senses to relive how they're going to win that race. And then when they do it, it's muscle memory. It's already created a memory in your brain, right? These are tips and tricks which will start to attract the life of your dreams. And they are such simple steps, because most people just say, believe in yourself and then it will happen. No, I'm giving you practical tips that will help you to get to where you want to be, okay? So the next thing that I want you to do is today is write down who you want to be, as I was saying, and I want you to really write that future self down. Really think about the person that you want to be. What does this person do? Where do they work? What's their dream business? How much are they earning? Create that in your mind and write it all down. Okay, it's a brilliant exercise, and I want you guys to make sure that you're writing that down, because that is something that is going to benefit you exponentially. I want you to look at that every single day. Okay, I want you to look at that, and I want you to see the person that you are, and now start acting like that person. Step into that zone and say, I am this person, and believe it. Start every single day believing it. You're going to have self-talk saying you can't do it, and words in the back of your mind, your little demons saying you're not worthy of that. You are. It's just your mind trying to put you off. With what I have done in my life, I've achieved writing a best-selling book. I'm producing a Hollywood movie. I have a record deal. My new single just came out. You guys can do anything. You can do anything that you set your mind to, because wherever your mind is thinking, the energy will flow to. And if you keep on building those same neurowaves, connecting them, building them, making them stronger, eventually it will happen. It will come to you, whether it's good or bad. So be careful with what you're thinking, and I will come to that. So guys, do that exercise. It's an amazing exercise to do. Another thing to do to get out of your comfort zone, which I love to say to people, is start having ice showers, which I said I was going to tell you about. So ice showers, why are they good? When we have an ice shower, we throw our body into a freezing cold place. We change our thought process there and then. It benefits our health, benefits our mentality, benefits every part of us. And I don't say to just jump in an ice shower when it's a cold day. I mean, after you've maybe done a sauna at the gym, a really hot shower, a load of exercise, then have your ice shower. That is a great assignment to do every single day. And that is in my book for so many reasons. I can't tell you how incredible that is for your health, your body, your mind, your soul. Use it. So now I'm going to move on to the next chapter of my book, The Action Plan, which is called Courage Over Anxiety. This chapter is so beautiful because it really builds you into who you are and who you deserve to be. You're not the person that people have attached labels to. You're not that person that everybody thinks that you are because of previous past events. You can be whoever you want to be, and you deserve to be it. So live it, start living it from today, okay? So my tip is self-talk is a big one, okay? I want you to, every time you start saying something negative in your mind, to now stop and then have a replacement thought. So what is your replacement thought? Instead of when a negative point comes up in your mind and you start dwelling into the negativity and where it can go, and you all of a sudden you're spiraling downwards, stop. Bounce off the floor as though it's a springboard and spiral yourself all the way back up. Go all the way back up to the top where you deserve to be, because anxiety is just fear, false evidence appearing real. It doesn't exist. It will pull you down. I'm going to speak from experience, okay? Many of you don't know, and you'll read about it in the book, but I once suffered a few years back from a illness, and I was bedbound as such for 3 months. And after that, it continued to last. The actual illness was leaving me, and the anxiety stayed for 1.5 years, you know, and it's only in the recent years I've really overcome that. And I teach you how you can heal yourself through my book, but also all these things I'm teaching you now. You can heal yourself. We are able to do that. We program ourselves. So no matter what you're going through right now, you're feeling depressed, maybe you have yourself sabotaging yourself, maybe you're feeling low, whatever it might be, I want you to say enough is enough. I am not this person. I do not need to attach the label of illness, attach the label of whatever it is you're going through. You deserve to be healthy, to be wealthy, to be abundant, to be the person that you've always dreamt of being. Do you believe it? Right? Yes, if you believe it, because I believe it in you. And I've never even met you, but I know we can all do this in our life. We can all be a superstar. We all have superpowers. Did you know that? We do. I don't mean like in cartoons. I mean superpowers to heal ourselves and attract our dreams and change your thought process, which will ultimately implement the law of attraction, which you may have heard about, into your life. So I just want to read you a beautiful quote from my book right now. And this is, it's by George R.R. Martin, the author of the Game of Thrones. So for anybody that has seen that book, then that movie, then you'll know about it. Can a man still be brave if he's afraid? That is the only time a man can be brave, his father told him. Do you get it? So what I'm trying to say to you is you must always choose courage over anxiety, as hard as it might seem. So as you spiral down in anxiety, oh, this is what I did. I was ill. I couldn't get off the bed. I could barely look after my newborn son. I had to move back in with my partner at the time into my mother's house for her support, for her help. I had nothing financially. I was on the floor. Everything was taken from me and my health. And I just realized without our health, we have nothing. And from that moment, I decided I don't just want to get better. I want to help others in the world. I want to use my purpose and I want to be successful. And how do I get there? So I really did the best thing that I could have done at the time. I started researching knowledge and I started looking at what I wanted to achieve in my life and how to get there. I took a mentor on best investment, and that started guiding me into the place where I am now. And now I'm able to help others and offer you guys that same mentorship, that same online course that I sort of took, but now I've made one in my own way. And I've made a better one, something that will help you guys overcome anything that you want. And you're always welcome, guys, to hit me up. You'll find me online, Natasha Grano, and you'll find everything about me there where you can contact me and, do a one-on-one course with me, one of my team, or if you want to have that, growth and help you from the inside out, I teach that. Or if you want to have an Instagram course on how to take your brand to the next level, we do everything. And it'd be my pleasure to help you. We're going to come to Instagram in a bit because I have a feeling you guys want to know how to take your success online as well. So I'm also just going to tell you about the same thing that happens to an antelope. This is a bit funny. When an antelope is running away from the predator is the lion. He's being chased by a lion. When we get anxious and essentially go into a state of panic, it's that same thing that, happens to the antelope when he's being chased by a lion. But you're not about to get ripped to shreds is the only difference. Hopefully not. You just need to remember that. You need to remember that no matter what is being thrown at you, take a moment. And I'm just going to give you a breathing exercise. So write this down or just do it live with me. Take your hands and put them in this rebalancing position like this, okay? Hold them up. Push your fingers together, not too hard. Just hold them lightly. That's it. This settles the equilibrium in the body and balances the whole of the nervous system. Now I want you to breathe in for 5. Hold it there for 5 seconds. And then exhale for 10 seconds. In through your nose. Hold your breath for 5. And out for 10 seconds through your nose or your mouth. I want you to repeat this, maybe 5 times, it may even be 10 times, until you feel that you're coming back to a positive place. Your thoughts are not running away with you. You are back in control. Okay, and I love to do this all the time. I'll do this 3 times a day if I need to. I'll do it before a talk. I'll do it if my son has stressed me out. If anything stresses me out, I do this exercise and it just brings me back to a place of calm instantly. And you have the ability to do that. That's something you can do anytime that you need, and it will bring you back to that place of calm when your mind is starting to run away. So when you spiral down, start to now think of every good thing that could possibly happen the reverse way, because when you start going down, I'm not going to be able to pay the bills, and then I'm not going to be able to survive, and then I'm not going to have this. Don't allow that to happen, okay? Because as soon as you get to the bottom, that's fine, but bounce back up. I am going to be able to pay the bills because my new role is starting soon. I'm going to create my own online course. I'm going to create my own business. I'm going to be healthy. I am healthy. Spiral with every possibility that is good all the way back up to the top. That's a beautiful technique and it will work instantly. So you may have heard of that one before, but please do implement that. Breathing technique and that one. So I want to talk about now briefly the certainty over insecurity. Now, what do I mean by that? That again is from my book inside here. It's a great chapter in the book, which really helps you because it takes you to say to yourself, I believe in myself and I commit to this. I commit to anything that you're doing. Just say it. I believe in myself and I commit to, and then fill out the rest of the sentence. You being here today is saying you've committed, that you are ready to take the step to go to the next place and to attract the success that you dream of. And I want that for you. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to go out there and empower others because that is what we're here for. Let me just say one thing to you. A way to feel certain about something, a way to feel secure about something over choosing insecurities. Do you ever think what you're doing feels wrong? It feels, you know, any of these negative feelings? If so, that is not your path. What you are doing, if it's your real purpose, should feel good. You should want to get out of bed every day. When your alarm goes off or when the sun rises, when you get up, you should feel, yes, I'm here, I'm alive, and I am ready to go to the next step. You deserve it. It is your chance. It is your time to ignite that flame, to let it shine so bright. Light up other people's worlds. Think of a candle that is lit. You know, when you go around and you could light up a million other candles, you have got so much there for you and you deserve it, okay? You've got so much. Now, I want to make sure we've got enough time to do some questions and answers at the end. So I'm going to leave 5 minutes for that. So I'm just going to do a few more points, okay? Just to help you out with this journey. I want you to detach from any negative label that someone's tried to put on you. Think of it like a sticky tape, okay? They've written something onto you. I just want you to peel those off, every single one. Write them down on a bit of paper. All the self-sabotaging thoughts that you've attached yourself, things that your family and friends have said about you. Write them all down on a bit of paper. I want you to look at them, brush over them, rip it up, throw it in the bin and rewrite who you are. The first exercise I taught you, write that down, who you are. And you want to elevate your frequency now? You want to take yourself to an even higher place right now? I'm going to give you 2 powerful exercises to do. 1, I want you to put your favorite music on. I want you to dance to it. I want you to feel alive. Walk around the room with your favorite music playing or in the room. Preferably something that is uplifting. Heavy metal has a different frequency, so please go for something that is really uplifting and motivating. Anything that is written, you can find this on YouTube, in the 432 hertz. That is a certain frequency that is a healing frequency. It's attracting everything you want to you type frequency. Choose songs like that. I love to listen to Enya. All her music is, almost all of it is written in 432 hertz or higher, and it's incredible. Choose music which makes you feel alive, okay? So go to that, find that music, and then shut your eyes and just visualize who you want to be and believe it, feel it. In that moment, feel overwhelmed with who you are, and yes, you may cry, and you can do this looking in the mirror, and you may feel emotional, but you will believe it. You'll start to feel it through every part of you. And if you keep believing it and keep doing this every day and take action towards what you want in your life, inevitably it will start to happen. Everything you want, as long as it is for the good for everyone. Does that make sense? If you plan on doing something malice when you have all this abundance and wealth, the money, it will only ever be taken from you. That is a bad place. You want to be in a good place where once you get this money, you're going to benefit others. You're going to give to charity. You're going to start things that will benefit other people. You're going to sell something that benefits other people. Write a gratitude journal. Write everything you are grateful for in your life. Write that down. That is so important. I do it on a daily basis. I do it in my mind now. The minute I take one step out of bed, I say thank you. The next step I take, thank you for my next breath, because how do you know that's going to come? We just take it for granted. Take nothing for granted. This time we are living in shows us to not take anything for granted. And so I'm now going to just give you one final thing. In the same way that I grew my following on Instagram to 1 million, I implemented everything that I believe in into my Instagram. You'll see in my captions, my username, for those of you who are wondering, is @Natasha Grano. You can find me online on YouTube, and there is where I believed in myself, and I put that out to the world in all my captions. And then I started growing it and building it and putting value out there into the world. And now I can inject any brand into it, and I do. I have multiple businesses with a passive income and stuff that I'm doing today to help others, and stuff which is just running, businesses which are running. That's what you all want: time, money, freedom. You can have it too. And I've given you so much information today, but if you want to know how to grow your Instagram as well, please do contact me, because I would love to take your business online and blow it up with you, for you, show you the skills and how you do that. Please do contact me, guys. Maybe we could put Natasha Grano, just find me on Instagram, send me an email, send me a DM, find me. I am so excited to hear from you. Anyway, we've got a few minutes left. We got time for some questions? We've got any little question time that I've got here? Should we do some, John?
Hello.
Hey, we got time for some of their questions?
5 minutes. We don't have any questions at the moment, so if anybody wants to put those questions into the...
Perfect. I didn't actually say write them down. Guys, if you want any questions right now, you're more than welcome to write them down. And if not, then please make sure that you guys just put them there for later, and I will try and come back at 4 p.m. where you can ask me anything that you want to ask me. I'm so excited to do that, and I know that we're on the last minutes, we haven't even got time, but please keep these questions now coming in, and I will do them at 4 o'clock. I'm so excited to talk to you guys then. I really wish all of you so much love, so much light and freedom, that you will be able to achieve everything you want to as well. So thank you so much for having me, and I wish all of you a pleasant rest of your day. Enjoy the delicious fun you've got coming up and the excitement with all the speakers, and I'll see you guys again at 4.
We've got a question coming in for you, Natasha, before you disappear.
Oh, they want it now? Okay, if we've got a minute, I'll take one, that's fine.
About 5 minutes, so we're all good. Let me just... Okay, we've got coming up on the... it is, can you give us some tips for the Instagram now, or are you going to do that later on?
Okay, I will give you a couple right now, because I knew that would probably come into it. So one of the main things that I would say to you for your Instagram is your content. What are you posting? Are you posting stuff which is irrelevant to your brand or to who you are? Remember, you can build a personal brand online, all about yourself. You can also build a brand online which is all about your company. You just have to choose which one it's going to be. Once you've chosen exactly what you're promoting, your content has to be the most important thing. So everything that you are putting out there to the world must be relevant to your brand and what you believe in, because that's where your value is at. Authenticity is one of the key chapters in my book, and I always